Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely little island of Fawnhollow today? Bit of an eerie start because we have no music going on. What should I talk about today? And as yesterday, I was rather busy in the evening because we went to go watch The Suicide Squad, a new hit movie by, I don't know, I almost said the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's not right. It's DC, isn't it? Sorry, I'm not really much of a superhero person, so you know my knowledge of Marvel vs DC is rather basic. You know, I know some characters. You know, Superman, Batman, DC, Marvel, almost every other superhero I know. But anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 3:39 PM on Monday, August 23rd, 2021. No news to share today, but let's give this week our all. We'll do our best, Isabel. Yeah, just normal day in Animal Crossing today, isn't it? Don't have anything in particular we need to do. We'll just be Nook Farm Mission farming, and we aren't expecting any holidays anytime soon. No updates from Animal Crossing. But dear, I have 2 feet, but I have more than 2 shoes and other types of things that go on my feet and legs. It's probably too much of me, so I'm sending some to you. And I know you have feet and legs. I've seen them. Your snacky pal Claude. Definitely seen that before. What do I think of a Suicide Squad? I think it was a pretty decent movie. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, it's my favorite movie I've ever seen or anything like that. I thought it was reasonably good, but it's not something which I'm like super in love with. What sort of score would I give it out of 10? I don't know, 6ish maybe. And 6ish, by the way, is not as bad as it sounds, because it's sort of on my own sort of rating scale. I actually use all the numbers from 1 to 10. One being like, I would never recommend someone watch this. 2 would be like, this is really bad, but watch it if it appeals to your certain niche. 3 would be like, there's some passable bits, but overall it's not very good. And 4 would be like, there's flaws in it, but it's almost passable. And 5 would be like passable. It was a neutral situation. I watched it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was okay. That's what neutral means to me. Another birthday. Yes, we have another birthday. August 31st belongs to Audie. Make sure to celebrate it. August 26th. That's not yet. Oh, yeah, what's up, Rowan? Thank you, a portable record player. What would 6 be? 6 would be like, I'd put it on good. Wait, what? He talked about Biscuit. He was going to give it to Biscuit, but he didn't. 6 would be like, I enjoyed it more than I disliked it, but there are some things which I didn't enjoy. 7 would be like, overall, I did like it. 8 would be all like, overall, I liked it. I know it's pretty. I thought, from a more objective point, it was pretty good. 9 would be like, oh, there's some really awesome moments in it, but I really loved. And 10 would be like, there was not a bit I didn't love. Which, I'm not sure if I've ever given out a 10 before, so maybe I don't really use all my numbers on 1 to 10. I'm trying to think, what would be a 10? Into the Spideyverse is very, very close to being a 10, I think, for me. Maybe some Disney movie is up there, because just, you know, nostalgia factor. So yeah, when I give it a 6, that's actually pretty good. That's above average. It's good, I'd say. It's not. I think the fact it suffers a little bit in my own rating system is because I don't really care about superheroes all that much. I'm not very invested in them. So like basically, I have no idea. And like I know who Harley Quinn is. I know she's like Joker's girlfriend, except maybe not. And I know her vibe is she's kind of like crazy. And she's a villain, maybe? I don't really know anything about her. I knew none of the other characters, I believe, in that movie, so I had no idea what was going on. But I assume everyone knew, but it was still very enjoyable to watch, even as someone who didn't really know much about superheroes in the first place, even Lisa or DC characters. Like, I used to have a friend back in secondary school, he loved DC much more than Marvel, and I suppose you can probably tell where he landed on that sort of side of the superhero debate. He probably loved it, I don't know. I haven't spoken to him for years, so who knows what his consensus is on that. But yeah, I thought it was an enjoyable situation. I did not watch the first one. I've heard the first one is terrible, apparently. I don't know why it's terrible, I just hear it is terrible. So I have no intention ever of watching it. The second one was like, apparently people said it was good, and my friends wanted to watch it, so I was like, yeah, I'll watch it, why not? And I watched it, and yeah, I'd say that's adequate. I would say it's good. I would say not all of it landed for me. I think it landed too far on the comical side for me, because I do like comedies, but I don't. they're not my favourite things to watch all the time. I tend to like much more emotional, perhaps even too emotional, too over the top, dramatic, sad sort of movies, or much more light-hearted things. But I do like comedy. This thing's, I suppose it's more like the comedy wasn't quite my style of comedy in a lot of cases. I thought it was funny quite a few times, but a lot of other times I was just like, that's about it. Like, I don't mean to say it as if it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing because it is funny. It's just not like not every joke was funny to me, I suppose. And it's a weird thing because the movie was interspersed with a lot of like seemingly rather emotional moments. Like there's like you peer into the side characters like backstories and that sort of thing a little bit, and they have like these emotional moments, but they just seem so out of place to me. They seem so randomly out of nowhere. I'm just like, huh? Like spoilers for, I suppose, the Suicide Squad if you haven't seen it. It's mild spoilers. I'm not going to spoil the plot or anything because this is actually a very recent movie. There's a character called the Polka Dot Man, and you learn about his sad backstory and his upbringing surprisingly early on, and it's just so out of place when it happens. They're just like walking through the jungle, and then he's just like, oh, this is time for like not an exposition dump because it wasn't that long, but just like, oh, this is his backstory, and I sort of just being like, what? Like, it just felt so out of nowhere to me. I was just like, this, like, cool. The other character's got some development and that sort of thing. Love that. Not a bad word to say about that. It was just so random. It's just like we're randomly walking through a jungle. But like, hey, what's up with you anyway? And then it's just like, oh, well, and then this is my backstory. And I suppose that's meant to be where the humour is. There's a lot of, it's not really funny moments in it. The shark character is quite amusing, I thought, a lot of the time. Even though, I feel like they had a 5-man team and it sort of like, you know, forced them into a troop as into like sort of cliches, like a 5-man group cliche. You know, you got the leader, he's a bit disgruntled, but he knows what's going on, he's very professional about that sort of thing, and yeah, and he's got like his head screwed on straight, and then he's got like some sidekick who is in this case I guess Peacekeeper, who is in this case actually surprisingly capable, but he's kind of like an idiot, I suppose. Very one-track mind. And you got the shark dude, he's the big man of a group. He's a creature who's just like really dumb and just kind of there for comic relief. You know, the Groot of a group. I guess Peacemaker's kind of like Gamora. I guess Star-Lord isn't really what's his name? Bloodsport? Something like that. I mean, when you got the heart of a group, the heart and soul, with Rat Keeper, and then I guess at least Polka Dot Man is a smart one, which I don't really know if that fits, but still. Some of it felt a bit tropey, but it just felt so theatrical. It was a movie which didn't take itself seriously, which I very much appreciated. You know? There's nothing worse than watching a movie trying to take itself seriously, but everything lands so comedic. This one was like, nah, we're just going to be like chaotic with it and really funny most of the time. And I was like, you know what? Welcome Brave, you know? I laughed. I'm trying to think of good moments. Well, some good moments I can remember, or spoilers is a problem. I like to fake out at the beginning of a movie, I suppose. The sort of set up for being like, oh, is this a squad? Because I knew nothing about this movie going into it. So when they first showed the first squad, I was like, oh, this is a bold move. Spoilers, killing off quite a few of the characters at the beginning. And then they killed off basically everyone, and I was like, what? Is this a movie? And it was a movie. And it was a nice sort of setup for exactly what a Suicide Squad does, a sort of fake out. You know? Despite the fact I didn't watch the first movie, I definitely got some impressions of some of the characters. You know, that boss lady, she's very, she seems evil to me, almost, but perhaps she's just like, you know, ruthless. Might be a better way to put it, I don't really know. And a lot of character comes out, even though not all the characters had enough time to really get fully developed or anything like that. But yeah, I think that's the best outcome it could really have. That fact, it was very enjoyable to watch, even though I know basically nothing about anything of this superhero genre. It was just the not the emotional whiplash, but like the atmosphere whiplash I got from so much of from a movie, I suppose, constantly changing, was sort of unexpected to me. You know, I think I'm not gonna say it was bad. I just think it wasn't necessarily what I go to watch movies for all that often. CJ, get out of here. This is possibly my crayfish. It just made me be like, what is going on? Everything's going... How I described it to a friend was like, it kind of feels like, you know how on YouTube you can see like these clips of movies, like the highlights of movies, like, oh, these are the best parts of movies that people have like clipped and somehow uploaded to YouTube. And I don't know about the questionable legality of that, but it's been done nonetheless, and you just watch those instead of actually like watching a movie. I felt like I watched that for the movie The Suicide Squad. I despite watching the entire movie, I felt like I just watched like the highlights and the clips, because each part was awesome. There's very few like slow or bad parts, I suppose, in the movie. It just felt like it was so I can't think of anything Lily right now, so we're just gonna chill with it for now. There's not many like bad parts of a movie. I mean, there probably are bad parts, but it's just like each of it felt like it could have been clipped to be like its own mini highlight of a movie. You know, it felt very non-stop, I suppose. I don't know if I'm expressing myself properly, because I don't really know what I think about this movie. I suppose it's a very confusing thing. I don't think it's bad, but I don't love it, and I can't exactly pinpoint why. And I think it's because of the fact that its tone felt all over the place to me. Not all over the place. If it felt like it went back and forth a lot to me, and I think it does. But for some people, I think it will land a lot better. For me, I feel like maybe it's a bit more of a delicate balance. Maybe I think it skewed a bit too much to the humour side. So every time an emotional part came up, I was just like, I don't know what to think about this. I don't feel the emotion as much from it. I suppose I feel like it's just going to end up with some sort of comedic punchline. That happened with a lot of lines in the film. I was like, this line was probably just said just so it can be like some quippy thing that they probably put in the trailer, or something like that. Or like what one-liner can we slip into the movie here? Like, especially if it's like, we got some kaiju up in this MFR. I was just like, what a weird line. That must be just be like, oh, we need to put something quippy here. We don't need to, but we feel like putting something quippy. But there were a lot of funny lines, so I'm not gonna dissuade you off that. There were a lot of moments where they were genuinely funny, and I'm not going to ruin them for you. It's just, I don't know what to expect. I guess it's just not my sort of movie, but I still enjoyed it, which I think is, honestly, you might be like, that's not very good praise or recommendation. I think that's great recommendation. You know how good something needs to be for it not to suit your tastes, like, at all, and for you to still enjoy it. Like, think how amazing it'll be if those are your tastes. Like, if this sort of movie is your jam. You'd be like, whoa, this must be an amazing movie. But I think it's well received. Who's my favourite character? I like Rat Girl, I suppose. Rat Girl and the shark. They're sort of dynamic. Trying to think who else. And Bloodsport was fine. Polka Dot guy was alright. Like, I didn't hate him or anything, I just don't really remember. I just thought it was amusing, but the part that was comedic for him was like, not like it wasn't funny for me, but it was like, nah. I was like, meh. I can see why it was funny, but it's not my sort of humour, I suppose. Yeah, I just really like the fake out we did at the beginning, which, spoilers by the way, if you still haven't watched it, if you still haven't clicked away, I suppose at this point, is at the beginning there's a fake main character, I suppose, who they're called Savant, I believe. I don't actually know what their superpower is, but he basically looked like someone who was super. Well, I mean, Savant, I guess, would be like super genius or something. The fact that he would pinpoint accuracy, basically slaughter a bird by bouncing a ball about. And I was like, since I didn't know anything, I didn't even know who was in this movie. I was like, oh, this is the main character. Interesting, some old man as a main character. That's bold. And then you meet the rest of the squad, and I was like, wow, they're getting straight into this. Like, no setup for who any of these characters are. Just like a short being like, oh, this is who they are, their name, and that sort of thing. They're straight into their mission. We don't even know what it's about yet. And then immediately, one of their squad mates, the Weasel, dies, quote, dies in quotes because of a post-credit scene. And I was just like, whoa, that's super bold. They called it like one of the main characters immediately. I did think, I was like, this character is definitely only going to be here for comedic, like, comedy relief. That's a word. Because it's a bestial character and they can't speak non-verbal. They look a bit creepy. What else are they going to be apart from comedy relief? Let's be honest. So I was like, okay, this is a comedy relief. I'm surprised they killed him off so early, but that's pretty bold, not gonna lie. And then, you know, the whole attacking the beach situation happens, and then the guy was like, oh, we ratted you. I can't remember who he is, but he's someone on SNL. I know that much because I've seen him before. It's like, oh, he ratted him out. Don't even know what his name was or his power. And then, you know, all those armed forces attack this Suicide Squad on the beach. And I was like, whoa. They just... It's quite a gory movie, by the way. So bear that in mind. What are you looking at, Amelia? A notepad? Sorry, was it private? I'll just go away now. Quite a gory movie, but I mean, it is like an R-rated or 15. No, maybe it's a 15. I think it's a 15. Maybe it was 18. No, it must be 15. It's not violent movie 15, sexual movie 18. Is normally how it goes. Yeah, I was like, whoa, okay, they just murdered that guy too immediately. It's like that's 2 people down already, and then the rest of the thing plays out, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess everyone's dead. And then Hardy's been captured, and then the other character is also dead. I was like, what on earth is going on? What? Everyone's dead? And everyone's dead. And then the fake out was like, oh, that wasn't the main squad. The main squad's all on the other side of the island. Just doing whatever, doing their actual mission, I suppose, instead. I had another fake out, especially when they try and rescue... What's his name? Gun? No. Flag, that's it. Where we try and rescue Flag, and they infiltrate this, like, their base, which I assumed was a military base. Or the opposition's base. But it turns out it wasn't, it was the Rebel Alliance. And he got saved by them. And they just murdered them all. But, like, while you're watching that scene, I was like, something feels off about this. Like, the first 2, like, kills happen, and I'm like, alright. And then, like, some of the later kills happen. I was like, why does this feel weird? And then there's this woman just, like, washing some dishes, and she gets killed. I'm like, okay. There's going to be a fake out. This fake out I saw coming, I suppose. There's a better way to put it. And I was like, okay, these people must be good guys. Either that, or with just... all this entire movie is trying to show everything's in a sort of not a black and white morality. Everyone's in grey morality, which I guess it kind of is. That's kind of the point, is showing, I mean, that's kind of like what Bloodsport is. He's like a bad guy, supposedly, in jail, doing good things, and Peacemaker is meant to be a good person, or he thinks he's a good person, but he's actually doing very heinous acts. What fish can we give? Catfish? Sure. Redfish, bluefish, catfish, dogfish. That's not how it goes, but still. I suppose that's what the entire movie's meant to be about, is all that sort of ambiguous morality. Is this on shuffle? Shuffle. Because I was like, I don't know how long we've been playing out that one song for. Every time we've been in here. I'm trying to think of other things about Suicide Squad. Sorry, the Suicide Squad, which is probably one of the most confusing ways to title the movie. Sort of like along the lines of Wii and Wii U. Oh, the 2016 one, Suicide Squad. The 2021, the Suicide Squad. I'm sure they had reasons for it, but to me, I was like, oh, I suppose it's not like Suicide Squad 2 or something, which maybe it is actually called that. Maybe it's called Suicide Squad 2 versus Suicide Squad. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. Now I think about it, I probably shouldn't title, because what I normally do is that I title this episode like what I'm talking about. I probably shouldn't title it Suicide Squad. It's a bit of a macabre imagery. Probably shouldn't have even said it so much. I'll just talk about it from the movie from that one, I suppose. Be a bit more conscientious about these sort of things. I apologise. What was I saying? What was I saying? There's something else I wanted to say about it. I can't remember what. I know, this is like a lot of funny moments. And despite the fact that the shark, I think, is such a cliche character, basically a big oaf, dumb creature character, I thought he's very amusing. He still had a charm. Those characters can still charm me, I suppose, even still. Like Groot, Shark Dude. There's probably others that I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, I was meant to get changed, wasn't I? We should put a wardrobe outside. Wait, we do have a wardrobe outside. Don't we have one by Able Sisters? Or did I take it away? Yeah, we got one outside. Wow, this entire time I didn't need to run inside. I could have just done it here. Get changed outside. Don't walk into the changing room, I suppose. We should look if Able Sisters has any, like, clothing items. It's been so long since we've been up there. Sorry, my eye's quite itchy. What? Yeah, the fake out was good. Bad guy doing good things, good people doing bad things, that sort of thing. Everything's very ambiguous in morality. I like the Eldritch sort of vibe it was going on with. What's the monster called? Project Starfish. I can't remember what he was called. He probably had a name. I thought he was kind of cool. I thought he looked quite cute, actually. All things considered. I thought he would look much more like an Eldritch sort of monstrosity, and he kind of does, but I wanted to push it. I wish they pushed it more in that direction, but perhaps that'd be a little bit too unappetite, I'm not making him eat or something, appealing to look at. So this is the direction they went with. It was quite horrifying though, I'm not gonna lie. Something like there's a lot of human experimentation going on. A lot of questionable morality. And this is gonna sound weird. I kind of wish they'd... If you don't know what happens, there's basically this eldritch star creature floating around in space. And they get captured, and what he does is turns out he can release like these baby starfish which latch onto people's faces and kills them apparently, like almost immediately. Turns them into these sort of zombies and mind controls them to be part of his hive mind. Yeah, and from that, yeah, it's a very horrifying thing, like alien facehugger-esque, I suppose. But the thing is, they're just like, oh, you know, they're just corpses under there. They're just zombies. I kind of wish they weren't, you know, because then it's sort of like a bit more of a weird morality thing going on. Being like, is it okay to end these people's lives? Then they're still human. They're still under there. But the fact that they're just like, oh, they're already dead already. I mean, it sort of takes out, not so much a gravitas of it, but takes out what could be an interesting morality component, I suppose. Again, by the way, all this review stuff I'm doing, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not a reviewer. I'm not a critic. I'm just your regular old person going out watching movies. Wait, is that not 5? That's 4. Just your regular old Jane Doe watching movies. Yeah. I kind of wish they weren't just mindless zombies, they were just like living people just being possessed, I suppose. Because then it raises some crazy questions of what happens if you kill a monster. But perhaps that's a bit too heavy-handed for what's meant to be quite a light-hearted sort of movie in the end anyway. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. And it makes me kind of feel bad for the starfish. Because the starfish, as they died, spoilers, said something which I didn't actually understand. I could not make out what they said in the movie, but I later looked it up, and apparently they say, I was happy floating amongst the stars or something like that. And it just makes you feel sad, because the starfish isn't really the villain. I know it's sort of a big bad, because it's destroying everything, but the starfish was just happily floating about in the vast expanses of space until it got captured by the US space military intelligence or something. And experimented on for 30 years. When it just wanted to happily float through space. You know, it made me sympathise with a giant starfish with an eyeball for a face. Which can also produce like sort of mind-numbing zombies. And I know the starfish did like try and attack and level a whole city. But it was, you know, it was kind of like being experimented on for 30 years. That's kind of like not a fun situation for anyone, I'd imagine. Being experimented on by... Who's that actor? It's like Peter Capaldi or something, right? No, wait, hold on. I think I'm thinking of a different thing, but he's the 12th Doctor, right? Lewis Capaldi? Who's Peter Capaldi? Wait, one of these people is a singer. But I don't know which one. No! Put that back. In fact, why didn't I put this next to a hammock in the first place? Yeah, it's kind of a horrifying situation, I suppose, with a little starfish dude. I guess he's not quite little, he's quite big. And the reveal of him is very horrifying. Just like this huge hive mind of tons and tons of people. These mindless zombies. Just walking around with starfishes on their face. A lot of comedic moments. Sorry, we're still in spoiler territory. Like when Milton came with him into the office. Onto the infiltration. To shut down Project Starfish. I saw him run into the building as well. I didn't say anything. But in my head I was like, why is he coming along? But, you know, he's there as well, then he gets killed. And then Polka Dot Man is very sad, and Harley's like, who is Milton? I must say, Harley Quinn. I thought she'd be a very obnoxious character. She's actually very entertaining. Very capable as well, apparently, you know. She escaped by a prison all by herself. Which did a lot of horrific methods to try and extract information out of her. While still putting on a smiley face. I suppose that's sort of what happens when you mentally break from that aspect, eh? You can withstand a lot of torment, shall we say. But yeah, who's the actress? Margot Robbie, I think. She's pretty good. What other characters in it? Is it Idris Elba, right? Starring well. I'm not very good with celebrities, so Forgive my if I get any of these names wrong. Idris Elba, pretty cool. No idea who. Oh, John Cena was there. That was interesting. Like, I found him quite amusing, I suppose, but he was also quite a grating character. But I don't think his performance was bad. It's more like I just didn't like his character, which is fair because I don't think you're meant to like his character. I think that's kind of its whole point. Sort of misattributed patriotism or any sort of misattributed fervor for something, I suppose. Shovel? Fishing rod? Shovel. I have no idea who Rat Lady is. I don't know who Polka Dot Man was either. This is the sort of thing. Yeah, just look it up. Because apparently there's a lot of big names in this movie. I don't know who most of them are though. So I'm going to look at the movie cast list. IMDb's probably got it on. Here we go. Oh, I kind of want my pictures. We're going to use a Google one, I suppose, instead. Margot Robbie. I don't know what else I know her in, apart from as portraying Harley Quinn. She's in Wolf of Wall Street. Once Upon a Time. I, Tonya. Haven't seen any of these. Bombshell. Mary Queen of Scots. I don't know these movies. About Time. Harley Quinn. Peter Rabbit. I don't know. She's in a Lego movie? Is she Wild Style? No, she's in a Lego movie too. Oh, Elizabeth Banks. Yeah, that's right. That's Wild Style. Sorry, Lucy. Lucy. Where's Margot Robbie? Wow, Noel Fielding's and some Jimmy Yang. Oh, Lego Movie 2. Margot Robbie. She's just Harley Quinn. There you go. She's just Harley Quinn. Pete Davidson. Is this Yeah, this is the SNL person, right? This person who dies very early on. John Cena. Killer Croc's in this movie? What? Deadshot? Will Smith was in this movie? Daniela Melchior. No idea who that is. I'll be perfectly honest. Sylvester Stallone was in this movie? The Joker? Oh, hold on. Wait, this is the first Suicide Squad. This isn't the second one. Google, you failed me. I was like, Joker wasn't in this movie, was he? Am I losing my mind? Turns out I was. I don't know. If you're a superhero fan, if you like funny movies, probably your sort of thing. Would I watch it again? Probably. I'd be okay with watching it again. I wouldn't choose to watch it again, but if it was sort of like playing, it's sort of like a load of friends were like, oh, we haven't seen it, or like, do you mind if we put this on? I won't be like, nah. I'm just gonna leave or anything. I'll be like, yeah, okay, sure. I would never choose to watch it again, very probably. Like by myself, or my own volition. I think that's kind of normal, isn't it? There's not many movies out there I want to watch another time. Unless I want to pick up on small details, but I'd rather sort of read about small details afterwards and rather than watching the entire movie again. What's a movie I would watch again? Parasite, probably. Probably most Disney movies if I just want to sort of go on a nostalgia trip and feel good again. I don't know. That's just around this episode of here. I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. Harley Quinn, I suppose. There you go. Maybe that's what I'll title this episode. She's an interesting character. I can't get back to the town hall. I thought I could jump over this way. Calendar Man? Who's Calendar Man? Weasel / Calendar Man. Wait, what was the Weasel just called Calendar Man? Oh no, Calendar Man was someone else. Oh well, I don't know. Terrible commentary episode, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscriptions, shares, greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. That's not the right button. Hold on. Bye bye for now. It's all over the place today.